Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. I wanted to give you 3 quick tips for growing watermelons. Now these are smaller melons, so you can start with melons that you may get anywhere from 4 to 8 pounds before you get to the larger ones. Those plants tend to stay a little bit more compact. You can also trellis them upwards and then you bring them back down and you can save space that way. There's a melon growing in there. The main plant started right down there in the middle to the left of that melon, and I brought it up the trellis and down the trellis. Now probably the most important tip is that melons naturally don't put out roots. Like if I lift this up, you can see that they're not anchoring down. Pumpkins will anchor to the ground, they'll send out new roots. And somebody said, hey, well, melons don't do that. Why did you put that in the other video? Well, they do, and this is probably the most important tip. About 7 or 10 days ago, I took this vine, and as a vine sprawls across, cover it with some dirt or soil. You can then send the vine that's going way down that way. So this is my pumpkin plant real quick. It's a little beat up because deer came in and ate it, but the pumpkins are forming. Pumpkins will naturally put out anchors, and because they put out anchor roots, if vine borers get into the plant or something happens at the vine where it was planted, they have backup roots, and that's the same thing that will happen with your watermelon plant. If you bury the watermelon stem, and you can see there's anchor roots, there's one in there. If you bury the watermelon stem, if something happens at the vine where the plant was planted, it has a backup root system. Now pumpkins naturally do this everywhere. Watermelons, you have to bury the stem. Back this way if you're trellising, and even back up the trellis, and then when it comes down, bury it again. So what happens, I'm going to pull this out because it's the end of the season. So what happens when you bury the stem? Well, these new root systems come out, and these will establish and strengthen your plant, which means basically if something happens down there where it's coming, where the plant was planted, and you have all these buried stems throughout here, you have all these backup root systems, it's going to support your plant, and your watermelon's going to do better. The plant's going to thrive. It naturally won't do that, but if you put it in the ground, let me put them back in there. If you put the stem in the ground just like that, bury it over, they're going to put roots out, and that will support your plant. Thanks for watching, and hope you liked the quick tip video.